Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. We are here again for your viewing and listening pleasure. Thank you, everybody, for all the birthday wishes. Very kind of many of you. Very nice of you to reach out and wish me a happy birthday. I do not love birthdays. My mother never liked them. The running joke in our home was that she was turning 29 again every year. She was 29, and then 29, and then 29. But she was actually a 40-year-old schizophrenic. So that was the bit. That was the joke. That was like the running bit. It's like she was, not only was she not 29, she was severely ill. But I don't love them. And the reason I don't love birthdays is because the Irish don't like to be celebrated. It's not in our nature. Arabs like it. The Jews like it. The bat mitzvahs, the bar mitzvahs, things like that. Let's be honest. They love it. Certain cultures are better at it. Italians like it. Like, the Irish don't necessarily love to be celebrated. So even they did a big cake for me last night and all this stuff. It was very nice, but I made a joke. I went, oh, this is for the ceasefire. And then I blew out the candle because the pomp and circumstance is not, because I have the DNA of an Irish person, that is not second nature to us. So birthdays, like everybody going, happy birthday, like it's your day. It's like, number one, it's fake. It's not my day. It's not my day. I can't do anything on my birthday if I went and I threw hot coffee in a barista's face and the cops came and I went, it's my day. Like, that doesn't work. It's actually not your day. It's not. So I did a party at the Stand Comedy Club and Restaurant, and a favorite of mine, and I want to thank the owners for going all out. You know, they had an ice sculpture of me and a sword swallower and a contortionist, and I paid for it all, and I want to thank them for that, because initially I wanted an open bar and a couple of pizzas, but they said, listen, let's bang them over the head. And I think that is important. It is important to bang people over the head, by the way, because there was probably a thought process in their mind. They were like, you know, maybe, and this is my friend Dan said this, Dan St. Germain, he goes, they were probably thinking like, maybe, you know, this guy's career is going well, it's on the rise, maybe one day he brings us on as a production company. And then they started laughing and he went, that's not happening. Bang him over the head. Get a sword swallower, get a fucking, a bust. I have an ice sculpture bust of myself. It was Saddam Hussein's party. Like, it was if you didn't know who I was, you probably walked in and went, this guy's a psychopath, you know? It looks like I mean, it was a dictator's birthday, for sure. And I didn't, you know. But I thanked them for doing it. It was nice of them for doing it, and I appreciate it. And everybody that came out, a lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time. And those things are never that fun when it's your birthday, because you're walking around talking to everyone and saying hello. And it's not that you don't want to do that. It's just that it's a lot of work to go around the room and say, oh, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. One guy said to me, he goes, when were we stop being friends? Was it 2008? And he said that. There's a guy I went to high school with. I go, yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't, you know. So that's what you get. I mean, look, that's Saddam Hussein's birthday. That's literally what the Stand got from me. That's literally a photo from my party. And let's address the Elon thing now, too, because I think there's a big misunderstanding, and I like to clear it up for people, because I don't view the show as a news show. I view it as a show where I'm having fun, and then occasionally interesting things happen, and you may learn something you didn't know. But I don't view it as, I'm not here to educate you. If it happens, hey, it happens, right? People are mad at the salute that he did. Show what he did, and I'm going to go into this because people are, I think they're off base.
You know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, you know, important, some are not. But this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Yeah, so people are mad at this gesture. All this gesture means is Heil Hitler. This is all this gesture means. This is a gesture signifying your support for Hitler. Hitler was a politician in Germany in the 1940s. People had varying degrees of, some people really liked what he did. A lot of people were not into it, and that's fair. And I think when we look back on history, a lot of, now, you know what I mean? It's like things that happened then, like we'd never do now. And I think that's Hitler, that we run into that a little bit with Hitler, where it's like at the time, you know what I mean? It's like the word Oriental. It's a no-no now. But back then it wasn't, So I think this Hitler thing is just one of those things that, he's just Heiling Hitler. And people seem really upset about that. I think they think that means something else. He's just saying, I like Hitler. That's not... He's not saying, like, I love everything Hitler did, or maybe he's not saying, like, oh, Hitler was, like let's go down the list of what he did. Oh, good. No, he's just saying, overall, I happen to like Adolf Hitler and find that he did. So people that are upset about, I can't help you. I just can't help you. Of course, they're what did I predict? Why am I always right? Did I not predict there was going to be a fallout with the tech people? Vivek Ramalamalam is already good thinking about run. And that's not racist when I do that. Is his name. That is his name. Ramalamalangyang Samawamea. He is now going to run for the governor of Ohio. He's at a Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. Elon and Vivek, everybody in that MAGA world was a little sick of Vivek running the mouth. Stop running the mouth. Take the gulab jamun and put it in the mouth. That's a little fat, round little pancake that the Indians make, and they do it in a sugar syrup, and it's actually really cool. But he's out already. He's thinking about running for... The guy was in for hours. Vivek Ramalamalam was in for hours. And then he started saying Americans are fat, lazy pieces of shit. Fair. But you own it. And I did a whole rant on that, and I was right. I was correct. He was basically making the argument that we needed to bring in talent from other countries because Americans weren't up to the task. The exact argument made for years by both Democrats and Republicans, the Koch brothers, the Chamber of Commerce, most billionaires in America, they too believe that Americans are not up to the task, which is why they continually ship their jobs overseas, bring in cheaper labor here. And so now Vivek is out. He's trying to run for governor of Ohio. I don't think that will work. I don't know. But he's out. I called it. The reason this isn't working, I called it, and I can even find the clips for you. There are a bunch of people in Trump's orbit who believe they are using Donald Trump, that they are going to get something out of Donald Trump. And listen, they may get something out of Donald Trump because he's the president of the United States and he has the power to give people things that they want. Grants, funding, access, the things that all presidents can give people. The mistake these people are making is that Trump does not see them coming a mile away. He does. You may love Trump. You may hate Trump. You may think he's vulgar. You may think he's a dictator. You might not like his policy. It's all whatever you want. That being said, his political instincts, you even have to admit, even if you're his enemy, you have to admit that his political instincts are, for the most part, pretty damn good. He sees these people coming a mile away, and then he keeps them around. A lot of them are fall guys. They're fall guys. You need a fall guy. When you're doing a lot of stuff, when you're moving through the world, pissing people off, going left, going right, I don't mean politically, I just mean, literally making lefts, making rights, going through the town, driving around, screaming, the radio's on. You need a fall guy. You need somebody to share the burden. When people get angry at you, you have to deflect that anger because you have to keep being productive. This is the meaning of Teflon Don. Meaning like what they said about Gotti, what they say about all these guys. You have to refract the light off yourself, the heat that you're getting for whatever, and it's got to go somewhere else, you know? So all of these guys who think they're using Trump or that they're going to get one over on Trump, and they behave in these ways, and you're mystified by it. You go, why is he keeping some of these people around? My belief from watching him, you need a fall guy. He needs somebody to turn around and go, that guy's out. I mean, this is, The Apprentice. You're fired. This is where he comes from. He comes from the world of reality television, the reality spectacle. The reason nobody's been able to beat him is because he understands that world better than everyone else, which is our world now. When you see Mike Tyson sitting, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson is sitting on Jake Paul's shoulders at the inauguration, you realize that everything is now the internet. Everything. Everything is now the internet. Nothing has survived. The old world is in ruins. It's in ruins. It's just spires of churches. I'm not saying anything about religion. I'm just saying it's all different buildings. The old world looks completely destroyed because it is. And the old world, I mean the media. I mean the legitimacy of scientific institutions, academic institutions, the government, the media, entertainment business, the world in which we all lived for many, many years has died. And the people that cannot accept that or are confused by that, there's a lag, they don't quite get it. They're talking about the future of CNN, the future of CNN. Well, what will come of CNN? They don't get it. They're unaware. Trump understands this world, this new world that he helped create, and the people around him created. They created it with reality television, and then they created it with social media. And those are the two big cultural forces that have changed the way people behave and the way people process information. And the people that had a monopoly on information don't have one anymore. And now everybody can get into the game, for better or for worse. And Trump understands all of those things. So this new world that has been created where you have Jake Paul and Mike Tyson at the inauguration, they just had a big fight and they might have another one. And the spectacle of this, Trump understands full well the value of that. So these guys that are around him, these tech guys, for example, Trump's AI project with Sam Altman, where he gave Sam Altman, I believe, an investment of $500 million. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it is 500. Is it 500 billion? Mm-hmm. 500 million. Look at me. $500 billion to Sam Altman with this AI project. And then Elon Musk and Sam Altman start fighting on X because Elon feels like he's been pushed out a little bit. President Donald Trump on Tuesday talked about a joint venture investing in up to $500 billion for infrastructure tied to artificial intelligence by a new partnership formed by OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank. The new entity, Stargate. Wasn't that a good movie, Stargate, with Jodie Foster? Was that the movie? Look up Stargate, or was it a show? What was Stargate? Stargate, was it a show? It was a film.
Yeah.
Was it Kurt Russell?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a film, Stargate. What was this about? I think it's about what we're paying $500 billion for. In modern-day Egypt, Professor Daniel Jackson teams up with retired Army colonel to unlock the code of an interstellar gateway to an ancient Egypt-like world. They arrive on a planet ruled by the despotic Ra, who holds the key to the Earth traveler's safe return. Now, in order to escape from their intergalactic purgatory, Jackson and O'Neill, Musk and Altman, must convince the planet's people that Ra must be over there. But by the way, this is what they want to do. There's a reason I'm reading the description for this movie. There's a reason it's called Stargate. That's what they think's going to happen. All of these tech people that are all geniuses and whatever, and maybe some of them are, but that's really what they think's going to happen. It's just, some of it is science, some of it is science fiction, some of it is madness, but it doesn't matter. That's what they want to do. They're kind of bored on Earth. They're bored. And they want to go and do other cool shit. They want to have intergalactic fights. The new entity, Stargate, will start building out data centers and the electricity generation needed for the further development of fast-evolving AI in Texas, according to the White House. Now, by the way, we've all agreed that AI is terrifying. But we need to compete with China and other countries that are developing AI, because if they develop it faster than we do and they enslave their population first, you follow me here? If China enslaves their population more efficiently than we, listen to me, if we have to buy the AI programs from China to enslave our population, instead of China buying the AI programs from us to enslave their population, do you see where we're going here? We need to be competitive with China. If they're going to have supremacy in the AI sphere, we're going to have to go to them all the time and go, we need to buy your product to enslave our population because you've done it so well. And we don't want that. The chairman of Oracle suggested that the project was also tied to digital health records. It would make it easier to treat diseases such as cancer by possibly developing a customized vaccine. It is the beginning of the human hybrid, right? The chip's going to come in. It's going to detect when you're going to have a heart attack or a stroke. It's going to tell you your medical history. It's going to tell whoever's treating you your medical history. This is going to happen. It's not going to happen for us, perhaps, and maybe it's not going to happen. It probably will happen in our lifetime. We'll be too old. They'll go, why are we wasting them on you? A few people will get them, probably. But this is coming. The push to build data centers predates Trump's presidency. Last October, the financial company Blackstone estimated the U.S. would see $1 trillion invested in data centers over 5 years, with another $1 trillion being committed internationally. Other partners in the project include Microsoft, investor MGX, and the chip makers ARM and NVIDIA, according to separate statements by Oracle and OpenAI. So Sam Altman and Elon Musk get up their little fight that they had after Trump has committed up to $500 billion to fund this research, to make America the leader, because this is what all these tech guys want. It's not about what happens to the country or to people. It's about, are we the leader? Are we the leader in this? No matter what this is, by the way. And they believe that we have to merge with AI unless AI will defeat us. They believe that. They believe the cat's out of the bag. It's sentient, or it's going to be sentient, and it's coming for you. And if you do not merge with it and harness the power of it, the human race is toast. This is not controversial. This is what they believe. They believe this investment that Trump is making is literally to secure the future of the human race. Otherwise, AI is going to wipe us out. This is what they've been pretty open about. Musk wrote on X, they don't actually have the money. SoftBank has well under $10 billion secured. I have that on good authority. Altman responded Wednesday to say Musk was wrong, as you surely know, and inviting Musk to visit the first site in Texas that is already under construction. This is great for the country. I realize what is great for the country isn't always optimal for your companies, but in your new role, I hope you'll mostly put America first. Altman wrote, using a U.S. flag emoji to represent America. So these guys are having like a bitch fight on X over AI. And this is the problem now with billionaires. I was on Stavros' show the other day, and we were talking about it. Billionaires used to be quietly evil, and it was like you longed for that. having like catty fights, this undignified need to be cool, these catty fights that you have with your competitor. These people used to just kill each other. They used to try to destroy each other in business. They used to just, spread rumors and false narratives quietly. Now everything's right out in the open. Everybody's become a 7th grade girl. Everything's become a lunchroom, and everybody's kind of become a bitch. And I don't use that term in a gendered way because a lot of men that are bitches. I'm just saying everybody is becoming a catty cunt. That's what everybody is. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Everybody's fighting in front of everybody else and Heiling Hitler. And it's a little dispiriting. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost in chewable form. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped directly to your door. The best part, it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. You can take them anytime, day or night. So you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. Hey, man, whether you think it works or not, it works. Do you think you need it? Try it for a month and see. You're going to love it. If your partner's going to love it. You could be missing out on the best sex of your life. With Blue Chew, men everywhere are excited to see the postman because when your package has arrived, your package has arrived. They say there's nothing sexier than confidence, and Blue Chew can help give you confidence where it counts. Blue Chew wants you to have the confidence to perform at your best, so discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our audience. Try Blue Chew free. Just pay $5 shipping at checkout when you visit BlueChew.com. That's BlueChew.com to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Tim Dillon Show. Now, by the way, the best thing from the inauguration was what seems to be, and I don't want to, a transgender minister, perhaps. I don't know if this is true or not. Kind of lecturing the Trump family about what's going on. And so this is a bishop making a plea. This is Bishop Marianne Edgar Buddy sermon challenging Trump at the inaugural service. She basically gets up there and she really gets very political, and you can see how uncomfortable everybody is in the pews. Let's watch the minister.
Let me make one final plea.
Now, this is now,
President.
let's stop for a minute. Immediately, as soon as this minister goes, let me make one final plea, you know where it's going. And he knows. He knows exactly where it's going. This particular minister, as soon as she goes, let me make one final plea, there is no doubt where this is going. Everybody's waiting for it. Melania, Usha Vance is waiting for it. Nobody is confused about where this is heading when this minister goes, and now I would like to make one final plea. And this minister has kind of a cool, non-binary librarian vibe. You can feel the shifting in the seats. You can feel how uncomfortable it's about to get.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people.
And let's bring one of them up right now. And they just bring one of them up. That would be great. And they go, and now we're going to, and one of them is here with us tonight. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic and Republican. And one of them is here with us right now. And then you just see like a child drag queen come up and she's like, fuck you, bitch. She's like, and thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. That is Desmond. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Desi. Many of the people, now, Trump, let me make one final plea with you and your fascist pig family. You said the other day that you feel that you're being guided by the loving hand of the provincial hand of a loving God. I'd ask you to have mercy right now on the people in this country that are scared. The demisexuals, the sapiosexuals, the people that are into bondage, the people that are into blood play, the people that are into S&M, the people who go into an orgy without a safe word. I want you to take mercy on these people. I want you to take mercy on the immigrants who pick the strawberries that I put in my ass. Every now and then I will put strawberries in my ass. I come anally. I'm the minister. Many of you in this church are sitting here in this service and you're thinking about the people in this country right now who might be scared, people who are transgender, people who are non-binary, people who go by the Zer pronoun, people who are gender fluid. Do you understand that? There are people right now in orgies that are illegal. They may not have the documents. They may not have the documentation, but they're in an orgy right now and they're about to come and they're scared. They're scared for what happens when you take office. Can you speak to those people? Can you speak to illegal immigrant transgender people in an orgy right now at my house while I am here? Because there are 5 illegal immigrant transgender Guatemalans in my house having sex right now, and I'm watching them on my phone, and they're very scared. They're very scared of what's about to happen. Is there any way?
People who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation.
But they are gay. They may not be citizens, but they're all in an orgy right now in my house. They're at an orgy in the basement of my house, and they may not be citizens, and they may not pay taxes, but they're going hard, and they've been going hard for hours. They're on raw Molly, Mr. President, and they're scared. They're scared of what's about to happen to them. Is there going to be a raid? Are they going to be sweatily dragged out of my house? Their sweaty, shivering bodies coming down from Molly, covered in each other's fluids. They may not have the papers. They may not have the papers, but they're fucking Mr. President. And I want you. Tiffany Trump in the back she just looks high. Let's finish this. This is very interesting.
But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples.
Wadara, what's that?
I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands.
And let them come to my house and
to find compassion and welcome here.
Let people fleeing the Ukraine have sex with me.
Our God teaches us
it doesn't matter
that we
if
are to be merciful
what their gender is.
to the stranger.
It can make me come.
For we were all once strangers.
We were all
in
once
this land.
strangers until we took our clothes off and had sex with each other in my house. Nobody asks for papers when you're having sex. We were all once strangers, Mr. President. We were strangers. Strangers in the night that met up in a parking lot after we exchanged a few messages on Craigslist. That's right. I've been at this game for a long time. We were all strangers until we felt the warmth of another stranger's mouth. Have you ever felt the warmth of another stranger's mouth, Mr. President? Because when I have a small penis that's made out of my clitoris. Mr. President, my clitoris, I have a small penis that is made out of my clitoris. And it feels and it has a lot of nerve endings on it, and it can be used as a penis, not in the traditional pornographic sense, but in the sense that I can derive pleasure from this penis. Is it the biggest penis? No. But it's a penis that I can derive pleasure from. And occasionally, when an illegal immigrant puts this clitoris penis in their mouth and sucks it until I come, I'm reminded that most people who come to this country do so because they have hopes and dreams.
May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God.
That's our God.
For the good of all people.
That's what I say when I come. I go, our God.
Good of all people in this nation.
Our God.
And the world.
Well, there you go. It's, one of those things that is happening in the world. It's just, who knows what we're going to do? We don't know what's happening. There's 10,000 troops headed to the border. There is an emergency at the border. Trump is going to secure the border. It's what he ran on. It's how he got elected. People want troops. I don't know if people want troops at the border. They want the immigration situation to be figured out. I don't think people want a rampant wholesale deporting of grandmas. I don't think anyone wants that. But I do think that people want criminals gone. I think people want sanity in terms of who can come into the country. We can't keep having millions and millions and millions of people come into the country without any process. That's why Trump was elected. It's not only why Trump was elected. It's the reason that every leader in Europe and the Netherlands is either getting elected or getting very close to being elected, because the mass migration of people from one area to another is the biggest issue in the world. It is not, racist or xenophobic. Now, of course, there are elements of it that are racist and xenophobic, but it is primarily an issue about the integration of people into an existing economic and cultural space, which is what a country is. And that's an issue that's not only an American issue, it's all over the world. And this is why Trump won. Trump won because people felt that elite people in this country, people that were wealthy, people that made money in the stock market, people that owned assets, didn't care about the rest of them. They didn't really give a shit. And what was good for their bottom line, what was good for their investors, what was good for their company was not necessarily good for the people of America, which is why Sam Altman is hitting Elon with the same critique, which is what's good for your companies isn't necessarily good for America. That's one of the reasons that Donald Trump got elected, certainly the first time, and I think also this time, is because people feel that there's a uniparty in Washington. There are two sides of the same party, Democrats and Republicans, and they both represent the interest of the donor class, lobbyists, corporations, the military-industrial complex, and none of them care about the people. Now, what is Trump going to do for middle-class people? Let's see. Let's see. Let's watch. We don't know. Let's watch. There's a lot of arguments about it. Does Trump care? I don't love that all these tech guys are around him. I've said that. I'm not the only one saying it. There's people with a lot more power than me saying it. There's people with bigger audiences than me saying it. But there are people that are listening to not only me, but to a lot of different people who are noticing this and saying it, that this may not be good. But I'm always reminded of how I started the episode. You need a fall guy. You need somebody there who might have to take a bullet. I'm worried about what's going on in the intelligence community a little bit. And I don't want to talk out of turn. But I'm worried a little bit about, I don't know. They don't want to confirm Tulsi. Here's why. Here's why that worries me. Not necessarily only about Tulsi, who I like and respect. And what I like and respect about Tulsi is I think she understands that the major threat to America, certainly since 9/11 and probably even before that, has been stateless terrorist organizations, potentially with state backing, but they're able to cause a lot more havoc. Again, California, 4 new fires. Weird, odd, People who've lived there forever, people who've grown up there are saying this is odd, strange, weird. Is it random homeless guys doing this? Perhaps. We don't know. But what a great way to attack a place. What a great way to do a ton of devastation and damage. We don't know why any of this is happening. But Tulsi understands that it's terrorism that is more of a threat than Russia. There's a Cold War obsession with Russia. Now, the problem is if you go into the Ukraine and then you back them and you fund a war and you let Russia blows the shit out of Ukraine, and then you have all the contracts to rebuild the Ukraine, and you have all the access to the rare earth minerals that the Ukraine is sitting on, and American multinational corporations are handling all of the reconstruction in the Ukraine. People are making a lot of fucking money, and they don't want that gravy train to end. And Tulsi Gabbard is going, but why is it in the national security interest of America to walk right up to a nuclear confrontation with Russia over a border in the north of Ukraine that they're going to have the same type of deal that every war ends with, which is an exchange of territory and a treaty, a deal. And why are we going to spend years and years propping up the Ukraine to fight Russia in the hopes that the Russian state collapses, spending billions and billions and billions of dollars? Lives are being lost on both sides, Russia and Ukraine. Is that good policy? Well, not if you're not a defense contractor. The only people benefiting from that war right now are the people that live in the 10 counties around Washington, D.C., and they're making a ton of money. Certainly not a Ukrainian mother whose husband is dead. Certainly not a Russian mother whose husband is dead. And it's certainly not anyone in the Ukraine who has a fantasy that they're going to get everything they want, because they're not. There's going to be a negotiation, and there's going to be the ending of that war is probably going to look a lot like what it could have been years ago, before everybody made all that money. But nobody doesn't want to make that money. So when Tulsi Gabbard comes in and goes, well, why are we doing this? Immediately, they're trying to get rid of her. And they're trying to say she may not even make it out of committee. If you have an e-commerce business, you need to put the work into the most important parts of it, which is the origination of new clients, making your product the best it can be, the sales, the marketing. What you don't need to be worried about is the back office, okay? Shipping, who's gets what. You need ShipStation. They grow your business no matter how big it gets, okay? They're the fastest, most affordable way to ship products to your customers with discounts up to 88% off UPS, DHL Express, and USPS rates, and up to 90% off FedEx rates. Seamlessly integrate with services and selling channels you already use and manage orders on one easy dashboard. Deliver a better customer experience. Over 130,000 companies have grown their e-commerce businesses with ShipStation, and 98% of companies that stick with ShipStation for a year become customers for life. Whoa! It's automated. It allows you to smoothly print shipping labels at the click of a button. Have you been able to scale your business faster because of ShipStation's robust automation and reporting? I know that my friends have, and I have, and we all have. My family has. Go to ShipStation.com and use code Tim Dillon to sign up for your free trial. That's ShipStation.com, code Tim Dillon. ShipStation.com, code Tim Dillon. John Ratliff was just, I believe, confirmed. He's one of them. Hegseth is defense. They're looking at him right now. He likes to booze it up, Hegseth. He likes to throw a few back, and occasionally he's thrown a woman or two in a water fountain. We don't love that. It's not ideal. But he also served the country honorably. I don't know what he did. Jane Mayer wrote a whole thing about him. He's one of those guys who likes to go to the convention. You ever work at a job and then everybody goes to the convention and they go, this guy's going to get real fucked up. He's that guy. He's the guy at the convention he's already in the bag at dinner. You go, you're in the bag. You should go to your room. He's like, the fire we are. He's that guy. You know? And then there's problems. There's problem. But we're not hearing the R word. Rape. We're not hearing that. I don't know the details of some of what we're hearing. I think his ex-wife might have said she feared for her safety or something. I don't know. But I don't know what that even means. People have said that about me because I drive fast. What do you mean by that? I have places to go. But I'm just saying he's moving through. He's moving through. They threw out Gates. Gates is on Cameo. And then I don't know what he's doing now. I think he's got a show on One American News Network or something. But yeah, so I mean, Hegseth just likes, you know, the guy went to Iraq and he saw a lot of fucked up shit. When you send these guys over to Iraq, they see some fucked up shit. Their best friend's head gets blown off in front of them. So then they tend to get very religious. You tend to get religious when you see your friend's brains are all over you. It tends to motivate you in that direction. I'm telling you, you do. You start getting tats. You know what I mean? Like you gotta believe some. If bullets are flying to the left and to the right, and everybody's brains are all over you. Okay, who is this? Is this his ex-wife?
Yes.
Okay, let's see what happened
Danielle
here.
Hegseth.
So he's got some tattoos people don't love. And he's very religious. But again, it's like we're going back to like, you know, the alleged pattern of abuse and misconduct by Mr. Hegseth is disturbing. This behavior would disqualify any service member from holding any leadership position in the military, much less being confirmed Secretary of Defense. Danielle describes in the affidavit allegations of volatile and threatening conduct by Hegseth that made a second wife fear for her safety. Among the allegations are that Samantha hid in a closet once from him, that she developed escape plans for use if she felt the need to get away from him that would be activated with a code word, and that she did once put escape plans into action. I gotta be honest. I'm trying to give everyone a fair hearing here. That doesn't move me. I need to see something. Did he put hands on you? Were you hit? And I'm not saying that's the only kind of abuse. I know there's emotional abuse, but like when you say like, oh, I had an escape plan to put into action, I don't know. Maybe that's genuine. Maybe you're being dramatic. So I don't know. All I know, he's an intense guy. He seems intense. He was on Fox and Friends, the morning show. Right? Now he's doing this. Now maybe he is I don't know. But I'm just saying when somebody goes, what's the evidence? And someone goes, well, his ex-wife had an escape plan because he was I go, tons of people have really bad relationships. I don't know what that even means. And I need more evidence. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying there needs to be a little bit more evidence than just, hey, this guy's a nut job and we had volatile fight. There are tons of people that have volatile fights and make up and fight and make up and fight. She also says, I believe Hegseth has an alcohol abuse problem and he was abusive. And this is
His first wife.
his first wife said he has alcohol issues. That's clear. He has alcohol. He likes to throw him back. He likes to throw him back a little bit, I think. I think that they had to drag him out of the hotel a few times. That seems to be a lot of where his issues stem from. He likes to hit it a little bit. Ratliff, CIA. Let's see what his deal is. They just confirmed him as the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, an agency that I believe is always on the up and up. Just what I think. I could be wrong. So he was confirmed. Now, by the way, the CIA, a lot of the people in the intelligence community are lovely intelligence community. Here we go. President-elect Donald Trump announced Tuesday that he has chosen Ratcliffe, to serve as CIA director. He kind of breezed through. The media didn't really jump on him And he was the director of national intelligence before. Now, maybe it's because he's really great and really qualified. And maybe it's because they think he can be used somehow. I don't know. But usually when there's no fight, when they don't put up any fight to confirm somebody, there might be an ulterior motive for that. It might be because they feel like he's useful to some degree. Ooh, he's a good one. We like him. Maybe it's because he's super qualified. Maybe it's because they feel like he's going to do the bidding of people that are not elected. I don't know. A bunch of people, if you remember the Hunter Biden laptop, Russia disinformation story, where when it initially came out, I believe it was 50 members of the intelligence community, 51 members, something like that, signed a letter saying that that story about Hunter Biden's laptop was disinformation and that it was Russian disinformation and that it was a hoax. And that letter made Twitter and other places censor the laptop story. And many people, myself, other people, feel that that was election interference, that that story may have had an effect on the 2020 election. But the intelligence community, big members of the intelligence community, and this not like, can you get up who signed that letter? And we're not talking about like low-level guys at the CIA. We're not talking about the guy that sweeps the floor. We're not talking about like a part-time guy who comes in. We're not talking about somebody who's new. He doesn't know. Oh, he's new. He doesn't know. We're talking about highest level people in our intelligence community that signed this letter saying that this story was completely fake. And it's not. We're talking about really top dog people that have all temporarily, here you go. In October 2020, a controversy emerged involving data from a laptop that belonged to Hunter Biden. On October 19, 2020, a group of 51 former senior intelligence officials who had served in 4 different administrations, including the Trump administration, released an open letter stating that the release of the alleged emails by the New York Post has all the classic earmarks of a Russian information operation. 51 former intelligence officials that had served in 4 administrations. Here are some of these people, by the way, that have signed this letter. And you would think maybe some of them would know. James Clapper, the director of national intelligence. Michael Hayden, the director of the CIA from 2006 to 2009. Leon Panetta, the director of the CIA 2009 to 2011. John Brennan, director of the CIA 2013 to 2017. Okay? And then a bunch of other people, again, acting director, undersecretary for defensive intelligence, deputy director for the Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA, acting director of the National Counterterrorism Center. All of these people signed this letter. All of these people, which makes you think, again, I don't want to sound nuts, but it makes you think that all of these people had an agenda to tank Trump. They all had that agenda. Now, for whatever reason. Now, we also have a highly questionable shooting. A guy that didn't exist with no social media profile got very, very, very close to killing the president of the United States when he was at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. We still don't really know much about that. And none of those people apparently know about it. These people are all in the dark. Everybody. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded earnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long with Prize Picks. I'm telling you right now, it's playoff time. Now or never, don't miss out on the last few weeks of football action with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the playoffs. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. What? $50 instantly when you play $5? You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday each Tuesday. Prize Picks discounts select player projection up to 25% off to provide even more value for your lineups. Think Lamar Jackson will get more than 250 passing yards next week? Will Patrick Mahomes pass more than 1.5 touchdowns? Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this football season when you and your crew run your game with Prize Picks. I love this. All my friends use it. Download the app today and use code TIM to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code TIM to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Prize Picks, run your game. So, if there's any community Trump shouldn't trust, it's the intelligence community. If there's any community he should be overly skeptical of in America, it's the intelligence community, because their job is to control presidents, to seek to control the president of the United States. There's Thomas Matthew Crooks. Not a looker. Not a looker. I mean, this guy's Wikipedia, by the way, it reads like, evidence on his political views remain inconclusive. In 2021, he donated $15 to a voter turnout group with the Democratic platform. When he reached a voting age of 18, he registered to vote in Pennsylvania as a member of the Republican Party and remained registered as a Republican until his death. So he donated $15 to the Democrats, then he became a Republican, stayed a Republican until he shot the president from a roof that was too sloped to put a sniper on, but he was fine there. They shot him. His body didn't even roll off the roof. And there we have it. So classmates characterized him as being quiet. They said he was bullied. He has a quiet demeanor, and he liked camouflage hunting outfits. We don't know anything really about his family. We haven't seen a ton of interviews, and we don't know. So if you're a imaginative person, you might feel that he was perhaps part of a, I don't want to use a C word, conspiracy. He had explosives, unexploded munitions in his car that they found. Bombs, all these things. And so this guy who went and tried to kill the president of the United States and almost succeeded, okay? He purchased over 50 rounds of ammunition and a ladder before going to the rally. He flew a drone over the rally. We remember all this stuff, okay? And the Secret Service dropped the ball in a major way. Now, if I'm Trump and I'm the people around Trump, I don't believe that was a random event. I don't think it was purely random. I don't think he believes that. I don't think the people around him believe that. And I have it on decent authority that they believe that there's more to that story. At the very least, there's more to that story. So if there's one community that Trump should probably look out for, it's the people in the intelligence community who, ever since the days of like Alan Dulles, basically have a parallel command structure where they do whatever the hell they want. They don't care. They're not carrying out orders from the president. They're doing whatever they want. They're instigating attacks in other countries. They're framing people for certain things. They're trying to keep America in a constant state of war. And they're doing things domestically and internationally to serve that goal. And if the president's not for it, they don't give a shit. They don't really care. This is, has been going on since the days of Alan Dulles when the OSS became the CIA. And now, of course, the CIA has grown into the DIA, the NSA. I mean, it's a whole labyrinth of agencies where unelected people are basically conducting the business of America with the black budget stuff, narco trafficking, human trafficking, whatever, however they're getting money. It's not congressionally approved. These are not above board projects that the American people are signing off on. These are not even covert projects that members of Congress are signing off on. These are unknown to anyone except a few people in the CIA projects that are being carried out. And Trump is, he's basically got to really watch his back in this sense. And I don't know if the people that are around, I think some of the people that are around him know that, and I think some of them don't. And again, this isn't about whether you agree with his domestic or foreign policy. This is any president, whether it was Obama, Trump, Bush, everybody can get led astray by the intelligence community, get manipulated by the intelligence community, can be left out. There's intelligence they don't read presidents into. They don't know what's going on. So hopefully this guy that's appointed to the head of the CIA, because they just froze the security clearances of a lot of those people, almost all of them, and I believe maybe all of them. If you look up this, the security clearances of the people that signed that letter, a lot of those security clearances, Trump moves to revoke the security clearances of ex-intelligence officials who signed letter on the Hunter Biden laptop. But as long as those intelligence people have somebody in the agency that's loyal to them, it doesn't really matter if they have a security clearance or not, because they can just operate from outside of that agency in the shadows using whoever is in there like a puppet. So the president has a lot of authority when it comes to security clearances. A problem the White House will run into is this: if they depart from their existing procedures, they could set up a judicial appeal for these 51 people, and it will probably be a class action suit since they're all alike or in similar circumstances. So a lot of these intelligence officials potentially could sue the president and go, we should have our security clearances back. And Trump is like, we need to temporarily yank them until we find out why this was done. The list includes prominent officials like James Clapper, the director of national intelligence under former President Obama, John Brennan, and Leon Panetta, who served as Obama's CIA director. These are some of the most powerful people in the world. Make no mistake. These are some of the most powerful people in the world, and they have just had their security clearances yanked. They don't usually take things like that lying down, but instead of fighting a high-profile public battle about their security clearances, they're probably just going to seek to put their people in positions of power in the intelligence community. Separately this week, Trump abruptly ended the U.S. Secret Service detail assigned to Bolton, John Bolton. I think I did Red Eye with him, who's been the subject of assassination plots by Iran. The CIA is doing this fun thing now called Everything's Iran. So everything that is Iran, by the way, everything you're going to hear about is Iran. So just get ready for that, because that's where they want to go next. You can feel it. That's where they want to go next. They are gunning for Iran. They want to go into Iran. Israel wants to go into Iran. We want to go. It is, you can feel the inertia that moves us close to Iran. They want in. They want into Iran, and they want it bad. And so the CIA is just going to do a bunch of shit, say it's Iran, and then we're going to go to war with Iran. This is what's going to be, this is the modus operandi of how they operate. They're going to go, these Iranians are nuts. We have wanted to go into Iran since I'm a child. I've been hearing about this, by the way. We went into Iraq. Everyone's like, next is Iran. Like, I remember being in a Dunkin' Donuts on Long Island with these mouth breathers. And there was this guy in Dunkin' Donuts. He's like, the next one's going to be Iran. And he was just drinking a fucking, culotta or whatever. The next one's going to be Iran. We're going to get them. And they've been trying to get Iran forever. But if I was Brennan, and if I was these guys, and I'm not, but if I was these guys, and don't kill me, if I was these guys, my goal would be to staff that agency with people who are not loyal to the president and, in fact, would continue the cover-up of crimes that had been committed and would keep running things like business as usual. Keep everything going. Keep blackmailing politicians using honeypot sex traps. Keep the drug trade going. Keep partnering with cartels. Play some games. That's what they do. It's a criminal organization. I'm not saying we don't need an intelligence community. I'm not saying we don't need information on what other countries are doing, but that's not all the intelligence community does. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that, okay? They do a lot of things, and they do a lot of things that don't benefit the United States. They have their own agenda, and there's a lot of big money all over the world, billionaires, business owners, I mean, huge groups of, and now these people are moving around the world now more than they ever have. And let's also go into this for a minute. You know, Britain just, we're thinking of, they just came out with this tax plan a few months ago that people really don't like, where if you are a non-dom, like if you are non-domiciled in the UK and you are earning money in other countries, the UK says, they used to say, just pay us a fee and we're not going to tax the money you own from enterprises abroad, outside of the UK. Now, Keir Starmer and the new government in there is basically saying that's not feasible. We want the money. If you're in the UK and you're earning money from outside of the UK somewhere else, we're no longer doing this deal where you just pay us a fee and we don't tax your money. There you go, Rachel Reeves. Rachel Reeves, she's now softening the non-dom tax changes. She's basically phasing them in a slower way. But what they're basically saying, and the reason that she's softening this, because they're basically saying, if you live in London, and even though if you're not a domicile there, if you're living there and you're a CEO, you're a footballer, you're a banker, whatever you're doing there, and you're making money abroad, offshore, we're taxing that now. You're no longer going to be able to just pay us a fee. Now, people might agree with that and might say that sounds great. However, an analysis from Henley and Partners found that more than 10,000 millionaires left the UK in 2024. That's a 157% increase on the previous year. 10,000 millionaires left the UK in 2024. They're going to Dubai. They're going to places in the Emirates, are coming to the United States of America. Okay? Some of these are centimillionaires, meaning they have more than $100 million. Some of these are billionaires. They're able to move around now more, and California is going to find this out. I know you got good weather. How's it now with the ash in your throat? It's going to be, these people are moving around. They used to not be able to move around like this. Here's why this is important. Here's why this ties into what I'm saying. A lot of these people do not have any type of loyalty or allegiance to a specific nation. They are looking after themselves and their financial interests. They are not going to stay in Britain if they're taxed out. They are not going to stay in states like California. Some will, but a lot of them won't. How does this tie into the CIA? I'm glad you asked. All of these people, and we're not talking about a banker making $4 million a year. We're talking about centimillionaires. We're talking about billionaires. Okay? Their loyalty is not to a nation. Their loyalty is not to any specific landmass. Their loyalty is not even to a government. It's to a certain operating system that allows them to compound their wealth. And in order to do that, they have to have people that represent them. And the people that represent them are not the congressmen and senators that you're electing. Some of them are, but the vast majority of people that represent those interests are in the intelligence community. Those interests are protected by people in the intelligence community, people that live in those 10 counties in D.C. that are among the wealthiest in the United States of America. Those are the people who are representing the interest, the business interests of a lot of centimillionaires and billionaires. So now that they don't have a particular alliance per se to a country, everybody's moving around. People are mobile. They're working remote. You have a big, big problem on your hands. If you're trying to run a country, you have a big problem on your hand because you have a group of people that don't care about the law. They don't respect the law. They are oligarchs, and some of them are in the tech community, and some of them live in America. And some of them think they're going to get a lot out of this administration. Some of them may, and some of them may not. But this is a group of people that are doing business. They are doing business, illicit business, black budget, with intelligence communities all over the world. And that business is billions and trillions of dollars. There is a huge underground economy that a lot of these guys are operating in. Weapons, drugs, people, laundering. And that underground economy and the overground economy commingle. And a lot of the commingling is happening with the intelligence community's blessing. And that's why it becomes so important for the Trump administration to really understand who these people are, what their capabilities are, what their powers are. Because I think a lot of them miss it. A lot of them miss it. You know? I read a story about a woman in the UK who was eaten by her pugs, 34 years old. It's never nice when a friendly dog does that. If it's a cane corso or something, you kind of, but a friendly dog eaten by her pugs, it's not good. Like a friendly, woman's body found half eaten by pugs. That's what the real Frozen is, isn't it? The real Frozen's not Elsa and the song, Let It Go, Let It Go. The real Frozen is this. The real Frozen is you're 34 years old, you die in your apartment, and you're eaten by your pugs. That's what a real Disney film is. It's not Let It Go. It's not Elsa. She's from Romania. Very sad. It's very sad. It was a shocking scene. She was half eaten by her pugs. You know, something's up. Something's up. What do I know? My beautiful sister is no longer among us. My deepest condolences to you. I'm in shock. What happened to her? Please let me know if I can help with anything. Condolences. It's very sad. They were hungry, the pugs. Look at them. Look at them. Do a close-up on those two. Vicious killers. Vicious monsters. God. That's that. If you think about it like that, the intelligence community is the pugs. And that woman is our country. Dying in an apartment and no one cares. She dressed that pug up in that stylish jacket and then it ate her. Do you see close up on the pug's face? You can almost tell it's a problem. You can almost tell this pug is a little bit of a problem. This is why I know people with snakes and everything. It's just not the move. They're going to eat you. They're going to kill you. Stop inviting animals into your home. Stop inviting animals into your home. Dogs are fine, cats are fine, but just don't expect any loyalty from them. If you die, they will eat you. They ate this woman. These pugs who she dressed up in little jackets ate her. It's terrible. TimDillonComedy.com if you want to come see us live. Interesting stuff. We're going to really see right now how this tech war is taking shape. Trump came out recently, goes, Elon's not getting a seat in the West Wing. He's not going to have a desk. Vivek is out. Vivek Ramalama is out at Doge, and he's now running for the governor of Ohio. Sam Altman and Elon openly fighting over Trump's investment in AI. How does this all play out? I put the money on Trump. I do. I've just observed him for too long. I've seen him for too long. He usually doesn't lose. He doesn't lose. And these guys, these nerds, they don't know how to regulate their emotions, and they're like all over the place. So you could see them coming a mile away. You can, the minute the minute this guy's asked one question, he can't even do it. He comes out, he's like, how about maybe a little less jock, a more screech, more Urkel. That's what America's about, Urkel. Like, the guy had one chance, and the guy fucked it up. The one who surprised me is Vance, because he has a tech background, but he rose to the occasion, and the guy ended up being a real asset to the ticket. But Vivek was kind of a mess. That guy was a mess. And he's out already. My bet is that Elon is next. My bet is that Elon is next. You need a fall guy. I think he's going to be the fall guy. Let's watch one more time. Let's see this one more time. And again, don't misunderstand. It's all he's saying is Heil Hitler. It's not a huge deal.
Come and go. Some elections are, important. Some are not. But this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Yeah, and out of the back to no one. Yes, and you see Giles tonight.
My heart goes out to you.
If you're worth that kind of money, you should be seen twice a year. Do you know how cool he would be if he was mysterious and he just showed up like twice a year? Familiarity breeds contempt. If this guy just emerged twice a year from like a rocket ship, from a spaceship, it landed and he just came out. But I mean, it's like dad jokes and Sieg Heiling. If I wanted dad jokes and Sieg Heiling, I'd hang out with my family. I've got uncles that can do this. I've got uncles that can laugh awkwardly, make dad jokes, and Sieg Heil. This is nothing that, if you have Irish uncles, they can Sieg Heil. They can certainly Sieg Heil. I don't need a $300 million genius to build a rocket. I can go to see my uncles, and they will make dumb jokes and Heil Hitler. Okay? All right? I'm telling you right now. And they can be bitchy and cunty, too. We hope everyone has a nice, we hope you enjoyed your, it's freezing everywhere. It's very cold everywhere, and a lot of people are going to be, but the place that is not cold is LA. With 4 new fires, it never ends. It'll never end. It'll never end. LA is just on fire, and no one cares. And it's so funny because it's not a sympathetic place, and it just burns, and no one cares about it at all. And so there's more fires all the time, and now it's just going to get to a point where the whole county is engulfed in flames, and it will barely make the news. The next fires will barely be in the news. They'll be like, and Los Angeles is done. And Los Angeles is done. We're getting word that the few remaining survivors in Los Angeles have taken their own lives. That's how apocalyptic the news will be getting soon about Los Angeles. Many of the survivors of the Los Angeles fires have actually died of smoke inhalation poisoning and have been eaten by their dogs. People in Los Angeles are being eaten by their pugs. They're burnt little pugs. Can you imagine that? You just feel your pugs eating you. That's how it should end for many of the people in Los Angeles. All those people who did the writer's strike, they should be eaten by their own pugs. They're little burnt pugs, just an army of burnt little pugs, ripping the skin off their bones, off their worthless bones, as they lay there on the floor of their smoked out little shack. And I say that respectfully. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show, our final show that will be released on Thursday. I know many of you, your routine has been disrupted. You are angry. You are confused. We are back to Saturdays after this week. We had some scheduling things. We put the show out for a couple of Thursdays. Deal with it. People are dead out there. You're lucky you're alive. Gavin Newsom has just stepped into the ring here as a podcaster. He's decided that governor has not been as successful as it should be. He's now podcasting. By the way, he's clearly copying me. I had Steve Bannon on. He had Steve Bannon on. He's literally copying me. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom. Now, by the way, this is not what politicians should be doing, is starting podcasts. No one wanted this. No one who's sitting in an ash heap in Altadena wants him on a podcast. They want him to run the state. You have a job. You have a job. It's the governor of California. That's a hard job, right? He keeps saying it is. The state's very big. It's the 7th largest economy in the world, or whatever he's saying. How in God's name do you have the time to do a podcast? Can you imagine launching a podcast in the ash heap of your state? He's now doing is he going to have ads? Is he going to read ads? Is Gavin Newsom going to read ads while people try to find housing in his state? Now, I will do his podcast because it does no good for me not to do it. I have things to promote, but I disagree with him starting one. But I've reached out so that I can do it because I should be doing it, and he should come on here to promote it if he's going to go that route, which I don't think he should. But he's already here. He's already here, and he's already copying me with Steve Bannon. And his theme song is insane. This is the weirdest thing ever. We went through the last election cycle. They're like, podcasters have too much power. And maybe that's true. But the goal is then not to join the podcast world. It's to be a better governor. Gavin Newsom's like, if I can't beat them, I will join them. I will do a podcast. You won't be able to talk shit about me now. I'm doing a pod. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. Let's play a little bit of this and play this fucking theme song, which is terrible. I don't know who's advising him.
This is Gavin Newsom. And this is Steve Bannon. Well, Steve, thanks so much for taking the time to be here. And I want to take this opportunity to sort of, go back a little bit and talk about your history, a little bit about your motivations and where you see this country.
We did a better interview with Steve Bannon. The point is this. What is that song? And then this is Gavin Newsom. So what he's trying to do is it's a relaunch of himself. This is what people do. There's nothing wrong with it. We understand it. It is required. When you are in the public eye for many, many years, eventually people are going to get sick of you, or your policies contribute to their lives becoming a hell, and they're angry. So you got to do a relaunch and come out. So that's the whole point. This is Gavin Newsom. Like all that other shit you heard about me, that ain't me. All the crime and the people with their knife to your neck after you walk out of the sushi restaurant, that ain't me. This is me now. The guy who's talking to Charlie Kirk. I'm the guy who's talking to people, and I'm sitting in my nice spare room in a nice house that's gray. And this is me. I'm just a chill guy. Everything else ain't me. This is Gavin Newsom. And this is Steve Bannon. And somebody told him, they're like, and then you got to say, and this is your guest. And he goes, and this is Steve Bannon. And then they have a talk or whatever. But this is what Gavin Newsom is now doing instead of running California. He's decided to do this podcast. And he might be better at this than the governor. I don't know. I would never tell someone to not follow their dreams. But I don't think it's just like the Olympics. The Olympics isn't a bad thing, but did anyone want the Olympics? Is anyone in LA going, you know what, we're missing the Olympics. We're missing a shot put. We want the Olympics. No. People want, like, I don't know, to afford milk. And they'd like to not get, like, I don't know, raped on their way out of Pilates. No one wants the shot put. Nobody wants the Olympic. No one cares. If it was an extra thing, great. But people talk about the Olympics like that's what's going to save the state. They're like, well, the Olympics is coming, so they're going to figure it all out. They're going to get rid of those homeless people by the Olympics. This is what people say when you're in California. They go, well, right before the Olympics, they're going to get rid of all those homeless people because the Olympics are coming. So people are now putting their hope in the Olympics so that they're going to clean up California because of the Olympics. By the way, there are islands of Tesla batteries floating in the Pacific, poisoning. I mean, the things that are happening here, the marine life that's dying, these surfers are all it's all going to be like 9/11. Remember 9/11? They're like, oh, the air's safe. And then 20 years later, Jon Stewart had to go and scream at Congress because they all lied and everybody died of mesothelioma or whatever. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be a bunch of fucking surfers in 10 years be like, they said the water was safe to surf. And they're all going to be fucking dying because they all lied to these poor fucks. And that's all there is to do out here is to surf. That's still the only thing. It's, you take that away from this state, from the coastal California region. These people are going to be, so they're back in the water. They don't care. They're back in the sludge, lithium ion Tesla battery water. They don't care because what else are they going to do? Their governor just started a podcast. This is Gavin Newsom. And by the way, what's he got? 9,000 views on the Bannon app? Not good. Not good. These are the MD Foodie Boys. He's Gavin Newsom. Hello, Chubb Perm. I'm the governor of California. Have you ever had an avocado? What's I gotta speak about this here, because I've been watching the Musk thing like with detached curiosity. And the reason I'm doing that is because I fully don't understand what's happening or why Donald Trump is like turning his presidency over to this guy who's like one of the least likable people I've ever met in my life. I've only met the guy once, and he was lovely to me for the moments that we were together. We're not together a very long time. It was one New Year's party I met him. But when I see Elon Musk, I don't see a likable, charismatic guy. I see probably a brilliant, but very autistic, strange, weird kind of man-child running around on ketamine with a chainsaw. This isn't what anyone elected. I don't understand why Donald Trump, who is charismatic, who is a salesman, whatever you think of him, is turning his presidency over to this guy who's now hawking Teslas on the White House lawn. Play a little bit of this scene here. And this is obviously Elon Musk, because of all the controversy surrounding his cuts, which I think are going to be a big problem for Republicans. And I'm going to talk about why in a minute. But because of that, he's facing, there's protests, there's people that are like, I don't know, lighting Teslas on fire in Europe. So Donald Trump comes out and goes, well, I'm going to support Elon by, I don't know, doing this kind of strange car commercial that I don't fully grasp here. And let's see what this is.
This is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer.
Hello, President Trump. Are you looking to buy or lease today?
Well, I'm going to buy. And I'm going to buy because, number one, it's a great product, as good as it gets. And number two, because this man has devoted his energy and his life to doing this. And I think he's been treated very unfairly by a very small group of people.
This is bulletproof.
I mean, look, in terms of imagination, I think I have a great imagination. Who else but this guy would design this, and everybody on the road is looking at it? It's amazing, actually. As soon as I saw it, I said, that is the coolest design. It's. Do you agree with that, Brian? I mean,
I do.
It's amazing.
Very cool. Yeah.
You got to give him credit.
We want the future to look like the future, and it's kind of what kind of truck would Blade Runner drive? That was the design idea.
I mean, this is the problem with these people. What kind of truck would Blade Runner drive? I mean, we're just handing the whole entire world over to like fucking nerds and freaks. We want the future to look like the future. First of all, the Cybertruck's disgusting. We can all kind of admit that. It's a heinous looking car. They explode. They go into trees and they explode and stuff. They're not good look. They don't look dignified or classy on the road. I don't know who that appeals to. Now, I understand there's man-children out there that want to fly rockets to Mars because they can't fly their penis into a vagina. Now, that's not really, I don't know how to describe, whatever. Like, I understand thinking this guy does cool shit, and I understand to some degree, like, whatever, liking that he's, some type of disruptor. What is happening right now to any intellectually honest person, of which there are very few in this world? I'm maybe the only one worth listening to or worth giving your money to be honest. I wouldn't lie to you. But I'm telling you right now, this is the grossest and cringiest shit anyone has ever seen in a very long time. This isn't cool. It doesn't look cool. This guy running around the government slashing things. And then, they're talking about Medicare and Social Security. If you look at the realignment in American politics, this has been said by a lot of people, including Steve Bannon. A lot of the people that depend on Social Security and Medicare voted for Donald Trump. They voted for a Republican. In fact, people with four-year college educations and higher than average incomes, a lot of them aren't really depending on those programs. A lot of them voted for Kamala. There are Trump voters that will be hurt badly. And even if there weren't, it's morally not right to eliminate. I'm not saying you can't get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. I think most people would be on board with that. But cutting Social Security or Medicare, Medicaid, you have a lot of Republicans on those programs. And you have the richest guy in the world doing it. You're trying to make a case why these cuts are necessary. You have the richest guy on earth with 15 children running around with a chainsaw telling people why this is good. Are Republicans totally not freaking out? Are they not? Is there not anybody there going, this is shaping up to be a big problem? This looks weird. This isn't what anyone voted for. Nobody really voted for Elon Musk to be running around the White House with a chainsaw. Is that crazy to say that this? Now, I think Trump, and I've said it before, sees these guys coming a mile away. He's a casino guy from Queens. He has political instincts. He's a brawler. He understands the value of building people up. Sometimes he understands the value of hanging them out to dry, too. He understands fall guys. We've gone over that. I fully don't know what this is. I think a lot of people don't know what it is. I think Trump likes him. He's really rich. He's the wealthiest guy in the world. He's an incredibly powerful guy. He owns an incredibly powerful social media platform. He certainly is a visionary guy, but this vision isn't good. This makes people incredibly uncomfortable. And by the way, increasingly, I think that's Republicans that are looking at this going, what is this? What is this? Is that the deep state, the park rangers? Is that what anyone thought the deep state was going and firing a bunch of park rangers? Now, listen, I'm against national parks, truly. I don't care about them. I think that a lot of people go in there and they end up dead because I think a lot of people that are really over the top into nature are actually very sick and twisted and hate human beings and want to kill others. That's all. And I've said that before. I'm not saying you can't be into nature, but to be overly into it, I think is actually a problem. That's my own belief. Now, you have, they're slashing all of this stuff. You know, no one thought the deep state or the swamp was like veterans who were like working as a working as park rangers. Nobody thought that was the deep state. Mr. Musk is still committed to his own super PAC, which has now spent $6 million to support a conservative candidate in the Wisconsin Supreme Court election next month. He spent close to $300 million on the presidential race last cycle, almost all through America PAC, which he founded last year. He's become the biggest donor in American political life, in right-wing politics. He's the most powerful person in the world. And also, he's a guy that believes that we have to go to Mars and merge with AI and no longer be humans. And no one seems to question that. Everybody seems to go, that's cool. I mean, literally, Elon Musk has said, no. In order to defeat AI, we have to merge with it. We have to literally alter our humanity. This is legitimately what he believes. That's not a conspiracy. That's what he believes. Nobody brings it up. Nobody really brings it up. I don't think populism, as has been described, includes merging with machines and going to Mars. I don't think that's what anyone envisioned that populism was, by the way. And all these tech people, as Bannon said and other people have said, and I've said, these people were Democrats until 15 minutes ago. They don't give a shit about anything. They don't really care about politics. They want to leave Earth. The less money for Social Security, the more money he can build rockets to leave the planet. That's all they're trying to do. So it's a huge, massive mistake for Donald Trump to turn over his presidency to Elon Musk. I don't know why this is happening. I don't know why it's happening. And I disagree with close friends of mine who think Elon Musk is, the savior of, this is Jesus. If Jesus came back, he'd be Elon Musk. He'd come through South Africa and design cars that don't need gas and buy X. That's what Jesus would be. I have friends that think he's Jesus. That Jesus is back. Well, this is what Jesus looks like now. Elon Musk. The guy's a billionaire who wants to go to Mars, and normal people are going, what the fuck is this? I can't get a knee operation. This idea of like reining in billionaires and Wall Street and plutocrat. And where's that Epstein's list, by the way? Where's that? You ain't seeing that. Where's that list? The Republicans now control all of the government. Now, I know, I'm not stupid. Are there factions that are against them and working against them? Absolutely. But how long can you blame that? Truly. How long can you blame all of this hidden power structures and everything? At what point do you hold the people accountable that you elected and say, yeah, I guess they're not really serious about releasing that list, which I never thought they were, by the way. All this stuff that you think you're going to find out, and you think you're going to find out how it all works, and then you're not. That's why I've told all of you, always, this show is entertainment. Whether I'm right or wrong or in the middle, all you're getting out of any of these things is entertainment, including your own government, by the way. There is not going to be, you're not going to be saved. There's not going to be, can the government do some good things? Absolutely. Like supporting poor people, veterans, providing a national defense, making sure the country has a border, making sure the economy is somewhat reasonably fair. Yes. You're not, this isn't a movie where the movie ends with Elon putting you on his spaceship and going to Mars. You're not going to Mars. I'm sorry about that. These people are also the elites, which you people talk about the elites, and I've talked about it myself. Because the elites are completely out of touch, but these elites are also out of touch. It's also out of touch to think that the biggest issue is let's go to Mars. That's also out of touch. That's not in touch. Go talk to a working family that can't put food on the table. See how many times they mention Mars. I guarantee it's not at all. Go speak to a mother whose house just burned down in Altadena and ask her about Mars and how often she's thinking about Mars. She's not. Ask her at what point, she's thinking a lot about the Neuralink chip. She's not. These aren't bread and butter issues that people give a shit about, by the way. They're just not. They're not. People want a border. They want law and order. They want to, they're not trying to chip themselves and their kids. That's not a big issue, but that is the issue to these people. To guys like Elon, it is the issue. I just think it's a huge mistake. It's a huge mistake. I love Built. Everyone I know uses Built. Especially if you're a renter. Here's the thing. We earn points to groceries, travel, and practically everything else we buy, but we should also be earning points on rent. One of the biggest monthly expenses. Built changed the game by letting renters earn high-value points on rent and around the neighborhood. This is for all those renters who pay their rent on time. There's no cost to join Built. And as a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and on your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world you can redeem your Built points towards. Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not only earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points on rent. You're already paying rent. Earn the points. Go to joinbuilt.com/Tim. That's joinbilt.com/Tim. If you don't own a home and you're forced to roam, use Built. You're a renter. Go to joinbuilt.com/Tim. That's joinbilt.com/TIM. joinbilt.com/TIM. Make sure to use our URL so they know that we sent you. That's joinbuilt.com/Tim to start earning points on your rent payments today. Renters, come on. This is for you. If all your money is spent and you're forced to rent, use Built. You don't own a home. I also think this guy, the Gaza guy, oh God, I always fuck up these names. Is it Khalil Mahmoud? What is it?
Mahmoud Khalil.
Oh, stop it. I was close enough. Mahmoud Khalil? Is it? Isn't that what I said?
Sure.
That's what I said. Mahmoud Khalil, this guy. Now listen, I don't know this guy. I don't know if I'd agree with the things he says. I don't know what he says. But I know he was doing a protest at Columbia University. Remember these protests, these encampments that all these kids had? I went to one of these at UCLA. I was curious. I just walked in. And of course, people were taking photos of me. They were thrilled to meet me. And I said to them, you're not Hamas. You don't have it. Because immediately you should have kidnapped me. But instead they were taking photos and selfies with me. And I'm like, oh, if you're taking photos with a podcaster, you don't have. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Hamas would have too. Maybe if I met Hamas, they also would have said, oh my God, I know him. And maybe, I don't know. All I'm saying is that I think this is a bad precedent to set. And I don't think that the federal government should be detaining people based on speech. Now, listen, did they break laws at the encampment? Absolutely. Did they occupy an area? Sure. Is that going to be part of the government's argument? Yes, that this guy's a Hamas supporter. Listen, it's a very, you're on shaky legal ground. If somebody, people support all kinds of things in theory with their speech, okay? And all of them aren't necessarily good. In fact, most things people say are insane. That's number one. Most things people say are insane. I have threatened to kill members of my family. I have threatened this government and others. I have threatened people's children. I have threatened their pets. I have threatened people's businesses. I have threatened directors, producers, agents, managers, business managers. I have threatened friends. I have threatened colleagues. I have threatened acquaintances. I have told lies about things to people in order to make them fearful and afraid, in order to make them feel worse about their lives. I have said things that other people didn't say about them to punish them, to hurt them, to make them feel bad. I have created realities that don't exist to hurt and destroy other people. This is what is done. So I don't think that every word said has to be tried in a court of law. Most things people say and say, it doesn't matter. I've lied about having cancer. I've lied. I've lied to people about my life. I've said I've had more money than I've had and less money than I've had. I've said I was attracted to people I wasn't. I've said I wasn't attracted to people that I was. I lied. I lie because it's the human condition to say insane shit. That's what we do. You can't just hang someone for saying crazy shit. I might support Hamas if I'm wronged by a Jew. And if I'm wronged by a Muzzy, I will support the Jews. It doesn't matter. I should be able to live in that space. I've been a Hamas supporter when I see what Netflix is going to pay me. I go, what is wrong with them? Jesus Christ. I'm asking for something. But then when they do something nice for me, I become a supporter of the Jews, and I don't like Hamas anymore. We all like Hamas occasionally. Anyone with a landlord is a little bit of a Hamas fan from the end of the month through the beginning of the month, but then you don't like Hamas after the 3rd of January. But on the 2nd of January, all of us kind of support Hamas. Everyone does. If you're in the business I'm in and you audition for something, if you don't hear for a week, you sort of support Hamas. But then when you get the role, you understand that Hamas is a barbaric terrorist organization. Do you see what I mean? I've supported Al-Qaeda and then I've been against them. It's my right. It's my right. Some of those training videos looked fun. When they, sometimes it is fun to just train in the desert. I don't know what it's for. Khalil was born and raised in Syria, and his Palestinian grandparents were removed from their homeland, according to his lawsuit. He came to the U.S. on a student visa in 2022 to pursue graduate studies at Columbia. Now, here's the other thing, and I'm totally with the Bannon on this point. I think we need to educate Americans. I think we need to have Americans getting into higher education. I need to think we need to stop giving up on American citizens. I think we need a moratorium on immigration for everybody, by the way. Low skill, high skilled, Elon's indentured servants he wants to bring over. I think that we deal with the people we have in this country now. We try to make their lives better. I also understand why you have foreign students come to America and learn about America. I get it. That's part of the soft power of the United States. I understand this. He served as a student negotiator, a role that had him speaking frequently with university officials and the press. What the hell does a student negotiator do? Oh. More recently, he was among the pro-Palestinian activists investigated by a new disciplinary body at Columbia University focused on harassment and discrimination complaints. So here's the thing. They want to deport him because of his, he has a green card, but he's I don't know. This is all immigration law, and I'm not a lawyer. I'm just talking about the general principle. The general principle is this. I understand if you're here and you commit a crime, depending on the severity of the crime and depending on the circumstances, you're not in a good place. You don't have the leverage. But I'm just telling you right now, people say all kinds of stuff. That's the reality. I don't know. For example, a legal permanent resident can also be expelled for providing material support to a terrorist group, in which case the government doesn't need a criminal conviction to bring deportation charges. It really just depends on what he did with Hamas. What is he doing with Hamas? Is he texting Hamas? What is happening with Hamas and him? I don't know. But just saying I like Hamas, I've said that, and I don't even support them. It's just something to say. Every word can't be like we're engraving it in stone, like, oh my God, you mean this. hold on. The Department of Homeland Security said the arrest was conducted, quote, in support of President Trump's executive orders prohibiting anti-Semitism, alleging that Khalil, quote, led activities aligned to Hamas, a designated terrorist organization. Now, anti-Semitism, now I don't know what the executive order against anti-Semitism is. Like, what will it stop me from doing? Like, can I, as an American citizen, be anti-Semitic? I'm a citizen. What exactly is the law? Is it only people that come to the country that are not allowed to be anti-Semitic? Or how does this work? I'm like confused about the law. That's a strange law to have. What is that? Is that one of the executive orders? He wrote like 1 million executive orders. One of them's like, don't be anti-Semitic. That's interesting. I'm just saying, I don't know if you can deport this guy just because, you know, he got into a little bit at the protests. They you know, because you start to get into the character. I would go to those protests. You'd have those non-binary Asians. They would dress like Hamas. And some of that was fun. It's fun to see people dress up. Now, obviously, there's geopolitical ramifications to it. I'm not an idiot. But here's what I mean. Look at this Cinderella, or Snow White, rather. This thing's, Disney's in big trouble here. And again, because you have Rachel Zegler, who's in Hamas, and Gal Gadot, who's in the IDF. They're stars of the movie, and they're on both sides of the Middle East. And both sides of the Middle East are conflict. And there's no fucking dwarfs, because Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones opened his mouth and said, this is fucked up, having dwarves in the movie called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So now we got a lot of pro-Palestine, a lot of pro-Israel, and no fucking dwarfs in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So now Disney doesn't know what the hell's going on, because Rachel Zegler is coming out and screaming from the river to the sea, or whatever she does. And, you know, Gal Gadot's doing her whole thing, you know, lighting infants on fire. And there's no dwarfs. So my whole thing is, does it seem like a fun film? Does it seem like a fun film? I want to see dwarfs. I don't want the Middle East conflict. I want dwarfs. World politics have also come into play. Zegler has promoted Free Palestine on social media. At the same time, Gadot, who is Israeli, has become an outspoken supporter of Israel on social media, as well as in a passionate speech she delivered when she was honored at the Anti-Defamation League's annual summit in New York City. Quote, never did I imagine that on the streets of the United States and different cities around the world, we would see people not condemning Hamas, but celebrating, justifying, and cheering on the massacre of Jews. So you have Rachel Zegler, who's like, she's just out there. She said, I hope Trump supporters never know any peace. Rachel, please. Now you have Gal Gadot, who's out there, you know, with Netanyahu, hardcore right-wing Israel stuff. And not a dwarf to be seen. So and is that them together? Show them, look how much they hate each other. Go up how much they hate each other. So these two are in this movie about Snow White, and Zegler said it's a whole rape thing. She's like, well, it's basically like a guy who stalks a chick, and why would we even make that movie? And then Peter Dinklage says we can't have any dwarfs. And then Gal Gadot goes, all the dwarfs should be played by Israeli hostages. Nothing here is good. I think they shelve it. I think they shelve the thing and just scrap it. I think they scrap it. And what's going on with this ceasefire? Is it working? They're all killing still, right? These ceasefires, I mean, this is not even, I don't even pay attention to these ceasefires. This is the fakest thing ever. These ceasefires are the fake. This is when the worst couple you know says they're actually, that things have been good. No, things are good. Yeah, why? Because you're on a business trip. Everybody's going to fight over there forever. I don't mean Ukraine and Putin. I mean the Israel stuff. It's going to be difficult over there to have any type of ceasefire that's going to be enforced. It's going to be very difficult. If you're like me, your mornings follow a similar familiar routine, with coffee being essential. Since it's one thing I absolutely need to jumpstart my day every day, I need it to be perfect. So I leveled up my daily coffee routine with Trade. I always thought treating myself meant spending more. But when it comes to coffee, I've considered treating myself to be a $7 cup at my local coffee shop. With Trade, I can enjoy high quality, amazing tasting coffee delivered right to my door at grocery store prices. Like many people, coffee is important to me. I can't start my day without a cup or 3. Plus, I'm pretty picky, and I was getting tired of the generic brands from the grocery store. That's why I turned to Trade, a coffee subscription service that delivers freshly roasted coffee straight to my door. Trade is the #1 U.S. specialty coffee marketplace, bringing you fresh coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Trade's experts have taste tested thousands of coffees to curate over 450 amazing roasts. Whether you're new to coffee or know all of your favorites, they'll handpick the perfect coffee for you. Take their quiz in under a minute. They'll match you with your perfect coffee. If that first bag isn't quite right, no problem. Trade will replace it for free until they nail it. And since every bag is roasted to order, you'll taste and smell the difference from your very first cup. Trade's prices are on par with grocery store brands, but the quality is next level. Plus, you're supporting local roasters. It's a win-win. We've joined this. They send it. We endorse this product. I love it. It comes to the studio. We drink it. It comes to the houses. I hand out cups to people that are unhoused. Everyone loves it. It's beautiful. Right now, Trade is exclusively offering our listeners 40% off your first order at drinktrade.com/Tim. That's drinktrade, TRADE.com/Tim. 40% off your first offer. Guys, you got to do this. It is so essential right now to not spend a lot of money. Batten down the hatches. The economy's got problems. Drinktrade.com for 40% off your first order. Drinktrade.com/Tim. Let's look at this Meghan Markle show because this is actually better than I thought. I didn't think I would enjoy this as much as I did, but here's why I like it. This woman, who I have now a fondness for, is criminally insane. And what's amazing about this show and what makes it actually fun and interesting is the depths of her insanity reveal themselves throughout the program. Every person that she has on the show is someone that she hates. She doesn't have friends. Meghan Markle doesn't have friends, and this is kind of why I respect her. Friends are not part of her overall goal. She has connections. She has people whose necks she can step on to get to the next level. She does not have friends. She does not care about other human beings. She only wants power. And the only way that she feels that she can get it is by leveraging her relationships with certain people. That's not friendships. And you see in the show that there are no friends. She wouldn't know what a friend was. Everyone is fearful of her. Everyone is cagey around her. She doesn't know what's going to happen. And what's interesting about her is the thing that launched her, which was this like crazy era of like identity politics run rampant. She actually brilliantly destroys in her show. Because if you came up with the picture of an annoying, insufferable white woman, it would be Meghan Markle. If you came up with an out-of-touch, suburban white woman, it would be Meghan Markle, even though she's not white. What I mean to say there is that Meghan Markle in her own show proves that it is not about race. It is about the demon that lives inside of all of us and letting that demon out. But can we see that speech she gives that you just played there? Can we see that? If you haven't watched this show, it's impossible to describe not only how entertaining it is, but again, for all the wrong reasons, she's a very, very sick person.
I just want to raise a glass to you guys. This feels like a new chapter that I'm so excited that I get to share. All of that is just part of that creativity that I've missed so much.
Yeah. So that's the creativity she's missed so much. And the creativity is, making, pasta, because that's what the show is. She makes pasta for people. That's the creativity, by the way, she's missing. Making turmeric tea and honey. And she just kind of goes through the kitchen. It's a little moment. It's just a little moment. It's so simple and so quick. It's not about perfection. It's about the journey. We strive for joy. It's about happiness. Come on in. We want it to be cozy and remind you of home. We want it to remind you of home. I don't know where my autistic husband is. He doesn't know where he is. He's not allowed to see his family. I destroyed a monarchy so we could have a little dish, and you just take the cherry tomatoes, put them in a pan with a little garlic, and it's a family that's been around for centuries, and I destroyed it. And you want to wilt the vegetables, which is actually different than stewing them. Stewing them, they lose all of their character, but when you kind of wilt them, they're halfway between fresh and stewed. And I killed his mother, and I actually killed his father. They're both dead now. His father's not dead, but his mother is dead. His grandmother is dead because she couldn't bear to see what was happening. I also staged a chase in New York City like the one his mother had, and I've actually worn sweatshirts that his mother wore. I'm a deeply sick person, and it's just about kind of whipping up a cake, and it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just using local honey, and we fold that honey into the frosting, and the kids love it. Little Archie loves it, and Lilibet. And they're going to say to me, what'd you do to Daddy's family? And I said, I killed them. I killed them all. And I brought you all back to Santa Barbara. She's a sick bitch. Is there any interaction from this thing we can play to just give people a little idea of how genuinely unhinged she is? Again, they've already greenlit season 2 of this show. My special on Netflix will be out in April. I'm trying to get Megan to do a promo with me. She will not, I imagine. We are out to her people. I imagine it's going to be a no, but we are offering her that opportunity to laugh at herself because, again, I like her. This is what people don't get about me. I am here to appreciate humanity in all its forms. When you start judging people and becoming a moralist, the show gets very boring. I like her. What she has done, okay? What the world she has manifested is so impressive and so off the wall and insane, you can only actually sit back and kind of be in awe of her. In awe of her. She is full of the type of hate that I find aspirational. Her hatred of other people as soon as they walk into her home, I strive for that. I'm actually a big pussy. People come in, I talk a big game. I'm actually kind of happy to see most of them. The hatred in her eyes for these people is something that I aspire to. Because she doesn't want to have to prance around with Mindy Kaling. She wants to be much more famous than that. She wants to be much more famous than that. But the guests that she has gotten, she is unhappy with them. They walk in and she has hatred in her eyes. She goes, why do I have to do this? I'm better than this. And that's the attitude that gets you far in this business. If you can hate your circumstances enough to create new ones, you're going to do good. So I think that Megan will actually figure out a way. She'll get the things she wants. Yes, we all hate her, but it doesn't matter. She doesn't care that we hate her. You know why? She hates us. That's why she wins. She hates us. She hates us. She thinks we're pigs. We're disgusting. We don't know how to use fucking silverware. She thinks we're all Sieg Heiling in our backyard. We're just a bunch of fat Nazis who don't know how to make a proper cupcake. She hates us. She thinks we're pigs, and we should only see people like her behind glass. She's here to educate these fat, disgusting Nazi pig wives how to make a little pasta for the kid. Make a salad for the kid, you pig Nazi bitch. That's what she wants. She's here to help us, and it is her hatred of us. She loathes and abominates us, and it is why she succeeds. Most people would fall apart with the hate that Meghan Markle gets, but it only fuels her because hate, when it hits hate, refracts. Doesn't work. Doesn't matter. She isn't trying to win a popularity contest. She has aimed her laser at some of the richest people on earth that feel good by making her dreams come true. She's not playing to Betty Bowling Alley or Fatty Boombaddy or any of these people. She knows that if she gets the upper echelon to fuck with her, eventually it'll trickle down to the little pig people who she's just trying to, get to start their own garden. Just start your own garden, you little pig. Just start your own garden. Oh, your son OD'd? Make your own Narcan. We'll make it. I'll teach you how to make Narcan. That way you don't lose your other son. I make my own Narcan. It's so simple to make your own Narcan and just have it. It's so important right now because there's so many people ODing on fentanyl at a house party. You could just go downstairs to the basement with this Narcan, and in several minutes, your son's friend is actually standing up and ready to go to the hospital. It's so important. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're not here because everything's going to be exactly the way we want it. Sometimes our son overdoses in the bathroom, and we have to go in there with the Narcan that we've made. We can make our own Narcan. All right, let's watch a little bit of this.
Including her pal, Mindy Kaling.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box
It's
and
so
loves
funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now.
Yeah, and what she's saying to Mindy Kaling is, listen to me, you fat bitch. See, this is what she's saying to Mindy Kaling. She goes, listen to me, you fat bitch. She is such a monarch, Meghan Markle. And in the history of the world, the Meghan Markles of the world would be, oppressing the Mindy Kalings. Because Meghan Markle's like, listen, you bitch. My empire ran your shit for years. Don't call me my dead name. Don't call me my dead name. That's not my name in these streets. My name is Sussex. You bitch. Is there any other interaction we can see?
Kids, and you go, no, I share my name with my children.
Yes.
And that feels so, I didn't know how meaningful it would be to me, but
Right.
it just means so much to go, this is our family name, our little
Right.
family
Would
name.
it mean a lot if it wasn't royal, though? Would it mean as much? Do you see her eyes? Do you see her eyes? She's doing an impression of a human being. But the most interesting thing about Meghan Markle is that she's not a human being. Never become a human, honey bunny bear. Don't ever become a human being. You will. She'll be so unhappy as a person. The best version of Meghan Markle is exactly the one you are seeing right now. She is completely, her lust for power, for status, for fame is so naked and so transparent. The demon inside of her is coming out of her eyes, and she's trying to be a human being, only enough, just be enough of a human being for the show. But, her own father's out there going, this bitch is out of control, but it doesn't bother her. Again, you would think someone's father on the thing going, she's terrible. But it doesn't bother her, and I respect her. God, I respect her. Although my father, given the chance, would probably be screaming, yelling how much I suck, too, if I was fucking making pancakes in Santa Barbara. And I might be. But what she does so well, okay, and what has to be noted and what actually has to be respected, she actually remains above any meaningful human moment, any authentic human moment, which most people would have by accident. She has not one of them the whole time. Everything is forced and awkward and terrifying because it is just a way for her to get to that next level that she envisions the show's going to go on for 4 or 5 seasons. And at that point, she's going to have a Martha Stewart living. She's going to be in Target, and all these fat white women are going to walk in and buy all her shit. And she's going to be a big billionaire, and she's going to turn around to the royal family and say, fuck you. And she might be right. She might be right. Here's a not so well-kept secret the insurance industry does not want you to know. Insurance companies profit by holding on to your premiums and reserves longer, so they may be motivated to delay or deny claims to keep funds invested. Morgan & Morgan fights hard to bully these bullies who are using your money to make them richer, as they often deny and delay the payments that you are owed. When Morgan & Morgan takes on a case, they're almost always going to go after the deep-pocketed insurance companies and not the individuals at fault. Don't feel bad. They're not going after the individuals. They're going after these deep-pocketed insurance behemoths. In Florida, a client received $12 million after the insurance company's best because the people don't have any money. They go after the insurance companies. In Florida, a client received $12 million after the insurance company's best offer was $350,000. In Pennsylvania, a client was offered $26 million, a staggering 40 times the insurance company's original offer of $650,000. This is when Morgan & Morgan gets up and goes, I know you're offering $350,000, but because of your product, my client doesn't have a head. Do you understand that? And then the jury looks over, and it's fully with no head sitting there. She goes, my client is headless. You think 350 grand is enough when someone doesn't have a head? He doesn't have a head. He's sitting here without a head. And then the jury's like, makes sense. And then they get the money. Hiring the wrong firm can be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. With Morgan & Morgan, it's easy to get started, and their fee is free unless they win. Hiring the wrong firm can be disastrous, so don't do it. Visit forthepeople.com/Jim or dial #law, #529 from your cell phone. That's forthepeople.com/Jim or dial #law, #529 from your cell. That's forthepeople.com/Jim or dial #law, #529 from your cell phone. This is a paid advertisement, but I would do it for free. That's how much I like when insurance companies get sued. If you slip and fall in a Wendy's and they have not put the sign up, and now you're laying on the floor of a Wendy's and you're injured, and no one told you that there was a wet floor, sue Wendy's because they give you money. What's wrong with you people out there not suing people, these idiots in a plane when it flips over? Oh, I'm grateful to no one that got hurt. Shut up. The plane flipped over. Get your money. You've all been beaten down so badly by corporations, you forgot the joy of getting yours. Get what's yours. forthepeople.com/Jim. Dial #law, #529 from your cell phone. Paid ad. Speaking of air travel, there are literal demons now on the planes. Literal demons on the flights. So, passenger swallows rosary beads on chaotic flight to Miami. The man also kicked the flight attendant. Him and his sister were traveling to Haiti to escape religious attacks of a spiritual nature. A satanic disciple had stowed away on a flight to Florida as one passenger saw it, and something had to be done. Less than a minute after an American Airlines flight took off from Savannah, Georgia for Miami on Monday night, a passenger began yelling and shaking. Flight attendants initially thought he was having a seizure, but it turned out he was struggling because he believed a demonic spirit had invaded the cabin, and at some point during the flight began swallowing rosary beads to ward that spirit off. As attendants approached the man, Dillon Augustin, 31, he kicked one of them in the chest so hard that the attendant tumbled across the aisle into a window on the other side of the plane. That's when the cabin crew realized that Mr. Augustin, who was traveling with his sister, was not having a medical emergency. His choices appeared purposeful, though difficult to describe. A special agent with the FBI wrote in the affidavit filed, the pilots turned the plane around when they heard the commotion and landed it safely in Savannah, but that was not the end of the episode. Disembarkation from the jet spiraled into chaos when Mr. Augustin stormed to the front of the plane and threw several wild punches at a flight attendant before the door had been opened. So this is a guy who's being possessed by a demon on the American Airlines flight. So just to let you know, that's also what you're contending with. It's not only air traffic controllers or overworked staff or busy airports or mechanical failure. It's demons on the plane now. It's a demon. He's a demon on the plane. Mr. Augustin told his sister to close her eyes and pray because Satan's disciples had followed him onto the plane, and the Legion didn't want they didn't want him to make it to Haiti. Sounds fun. Sounds fun. So there's literal demons now on the plane. You can add this to the mix. People now, I fly a lot. People tell me, they go, is flying safe? What's going on with flying? So now this is a fun thing to actually include. You can say, well, now actually there are demons on the planes, and those people are fighting a spiritual war in the air, 30,000 feet in the air. There are people that are being possessed by demons on the plane. That's going to have to be a question that's asked now as you go through airport security. Do you feel you are being currently possessed by a demon? No. Well, thank you. Do you have any liquids? Yeah. Is the laptop out of the bag? Are you currently being possessed by a demonic entity? Not that you're aware of. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Go through the metal detector on the right. No liquids, and there's going to be there will be a line for people who are being possessed by a demon. By the way, there'll be a separate, like, you know how they have clear and TSA pre, there'll be a separate line for demonic possession, where they'll just hand you a rosary and go, good luck. Can you imagine that? People on the ground in Savannah, they go, what happened to the plane? There was a demon on it. And they go, what are you talking about? No, there was a demon on the plane, speaking in demon language, trying to rid the demon by eating rosary beads. We had to land. That sounds like the biggest lie. They go, really? Did you drink and miss your flight? No, there was a demon that was trying to do an exorcism on himself in the plane. I mean, it really is getting to a point now where if you do not have to fly, just don't do it. Really don't do it right now. If you do not have to be somewhere, don't be there. I don't understand why you would go anywhere now. Is this one of these spam calls? No, it's someone else. But I'll tell you this, I hate the fact that I have to fly all the time, and it is something that I have to do. And there's a new, the new reality of the world, and I think there is a new reality, and it's like, what is essential? Is it an essential trip? Is this friendship essential? Really, truly, is the money you're spending essential? And I think that's what people have to think about. U.S. unveils a new app for self-deportation. This is a new app where you self-deport on the app. The Trump administration is repurposing a mobile application originally created to facilitate asylum appointments into a way for undocumented migrants already in the U.S. to self-deport. The app, known as CBP Home, allows immigrants to submit an intent to depart, which U.S. Customs and Border Patrol says offers them a chance to leave without harsher consequences. So basically, they're like, just go on the app. Just go on the app. We could do it easy or hard. Hard is we have to go get you, but easy is you just go on the app. You go on the app and you click leave. Just click the icon that says leaving. If they don't, we will find them and deport them, and they will never return. In a statement, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, that's the woman who shot her dog in the head, said that by self-deporting through the app, migrants may still have the opportunity to return legally in the future and live the American dream. And they should say that on the app. Self-deport and then return legally later and live the American dream. What is the likelihood anyone's using this app to self-deport, by the way? I mean, because, by the way, I don't think they have the resources to deport all these people anyway. So who's on the app? Wouldn't you chance it instead of you're going to go on the app and click leave? Just go on the app. And then what happens, by the way? According to DHS, the app is meant to complement a $200 million domestic and international campaign calling for undocumented migrants to stay out and leave now. This stay out and leave now campaign. So you open the app and it just goes, get out. What kind of app is this? It's a crazy app. Who designed that app? You open the app and it goes, stay out and leave now leave now and stay out is the campaign. So wait a minute. That's the whole thing. Like Trump's like, we're deporting everyone. It's just an app that some shitty guy in Silicon Valley created. Just some shitty app this is all it is. It's just DoorDash for immigrants telling them to leave. Hey, get the fuck out of here. What is this? That's all it is? So that's what this whole thing was. He just wants to sell Teslas on a White House lawn. And then there's an app that's you're going to get a push notification to leave. You should be leaving. Are you leaving now? Are you leaving now? And stay. And then once you cross the border, it goes, and stay out. And then do you still have the app so you can track? Can immigrants track each other leaving? Is it like Venmo where you can see that I split a sandwich with someone? Is that the app? CBP Home. Can I see if other immigrants, like where they are in their journey? I'm like, oh, you said you would leave, but I see on the app, you're not. You're the dot. That dot hasn't moved. You're full of shit. I mean, what the fuck is this app? This is, by the way, this is why the tech community wanted to get in with Trump. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to build the deportation app. Does anyone believe that any of this that this is going to work at all? Submit intent to depart. View my departure and then verify departure. Make that bigger. View my departure. View your departure report from the... This is so Orwellian. You should download it. Our buddies here watching. I mean, this is so crazy. View my departure and then verify my departure. Departing traveler. And then it's just the United States, and then it has arrows going up and then arrows going down. So that's what this whole thing is? That's what the whole thing is just... this new application. That's so funny. That's so crazy. What does it say? Homeland Security overhauls its asylum phone app. Now it's for self-deportation. CBP. Oh, ratings and reviews on the App Store, 2.9 out of 5. Oh, let's go. Really bad to get an appointment. This app has several bugs that need to be corrected. In our case, we were a Cuban family that was stranded in Mexico with 2 minors since December 29th. There are 4 of us in total. We've been trying to get an appointment at the border for more than 10 days, but it always gives a different error. Well, that's probably by design. We have even completed the entire process. We finished after capturing. Even the photo tells us that there's no capacity to serve 4 people. Go to the next app. I mean, this is a 1-star review of the deportation app. By the way, who is reviewing the deportation app with 5 stars? Who's like, it was able to be kicked out of the country easily and efficiently. Instead of Homeland Security knocking my door down, this allowed me to self-deport because my daughter said she was pro-Hamas at Columbia University. It was an easy, efficient process. Listen to this. Bug alert. Save button from profile does not work. App, bro. This is like when I select edit traveler profile, the fields on the screen are filled out. No message shown. When I select again, edit traveler profile, the fields on the screen are empty. So it keeps, it's so annoying to fill out your edit traveler profile again. I mean, yeah, again, people are angry and upset about this app. This is how much we're living in a tech dystopia. These people aren't even like mad they're leaving the country. They just hate the app. That's how it all got. We'll all just be reviewing an app at the end. There's no other place for any of us to go except just to review an app and go, this doesn't really work. They'll be forcing us to kill ourselves with an app. There'll be a euthanasia app. There'll be an app for those suicide pods, and someone will go, I got to be honest. I tried to get an appointment at that pod for 3 weeks in a row. The app it keeps clearing all the fields after I fill out the information. That's the world Elon Musk wants, by the way, where all you can do is review your suicide app. Because if you're not chosen to merge with AI, and you won't be, then what happens? Then you go on the suicide pod app, you fill your information out, and you deport from Earth. If you think self-deporting from America is the only thing, you're out of your mind. You will be self-deporting from Earth, by the way. And these people are going to make it easy and efficient for you. They want to make it easy and efficient for you to end their life. I am telling you right now, and I like what Trump is doing with foreign policy. We got to get out of the Ukraine war. America's not the boss anymore. We share the planet with China and Russia. I know you might not like it, and North Korea and Iran. We can't fight a war on 3 stages. I agree with a lot of what Trump's doing with foreign policy. It makes a lot of sense, even though people are yelling and kicking and screaming. On the domestic side, handing your presidency over, handing it over to Elon Musk, who's running around with a chainsaw, potentially on ketamine, probably on ketamine, is the biggest mistake I've seen made. And this is the hubris. This is the hubris that allowed the Biden administration to do all the crazy things that got the Democrats thrown out of office. This is the hubris where you go, oh, we're going to run this octogenarian dementia patient, Joe Biden, until he gets out on the stage and literally dies in front of everyone. Then we're going to run Kamala Harris, his empty-headed secretary, vice president notwithstanding. No one knows what she did, not even her. The hubris that allows you to make that decision is the same hubris that allows you to just hand the federal government over to a guy that a lot of people in America already hate or will hate soon. This is the fatal flaw in humanity. And that's the reality. It's a great line from the show Louis C.K., the comedian's show. When Joan Rivers looked at him, he was complaining about something or other, and she said, know when you're lucky. Know when you're lucky. Nobody seems to be able to do that. Certainly nobody in the political world seems to know when they're lucky. They keep pushing, just like the Biden administration kept pushing. Trump is going to keep pushing. And people desperately want a sense of normalcy in this country. They don't want an open border. They don't want biological men competing in women's sports. They also don't want to live in a Christian theocracy. They also don't want Elon Musk taking a chainsaw to Social Security. They don't want the richest man in the world selling Teslas on a White House lawn. They don't want any of this. You know, most people just want normalcy. They want a sense of reality, of time, of purpose. And if the Conservative Party stands for anything, it should be able to give them that and slow the pace of change. It's the entire philosophy of conservatism, is to slow the pace of disorienting and destabilizing change. And in fact, we've seen quite the opposite. We have a transhumanist with a chainsaw running around the White House, screaming and yelling about the need to get rid of the Parks Department. I don't know that that's what anyone voted for. So at this point, right now, if there was an election tomorrow, I swear to God, even though she'd throw me in jail, even though she might execute me, right now, there is only one person who possesses the skill set to be the next president of the United States. There is only one person who has, I believe, the internal fire to be the president of the United States. And if you can defeat the monarchy, you can lead this country. So I'm endorsing, as of right now, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, to be the president of the United States in 3 years, because she can do it. She defeated Britain again, single-handedly, okay? With a couple of magazine articles and a documentary. She has within her the demon that's needed. She can do it. I'm worried about where this administration's going. And we were all clearly worried about what the hell was going on with Joe Biden. But this bitch, making her own honey in Santa Barbara, bringing Mindy Kaling's fat ass over to mispronounce her name. This bitch has it. Sorry, she does. If the presidency in America is for someone that has to, by their very nature, have turned off some of their humanity and acts on instinct to preserve the greatness of an empire, look no further than this bitch. I have fully and completely changed my mind about her. As she goes deeper and deeper into hell and fights all of the people, including me. I'm a big critic, and she doesn't care. She's undeterred. That's what you need a president to be. She is completely, it doesn't matter to her what you think of her. She is a born leader. This is true. Yeah, is it based on anything? Are you wasting my time? Have you listened to me for 8 years? Shut up. You know what this world is already. You know what this world is. Okay? You know what it is. She will beat China. She will beat them. The presidency is about nothing if it's not about little moments. It's not about perfection. It's about little moments. It's about celebrating yourself. It's about loving yourself. It's about family. It's about good friends. It's about little moments. That's what it is. I hope our overlords would do well to remember that. If not, I fear we're getting a dose of Meghan, and soon. Good night.